Lucas from Braintree, Massachusetts. Is it time to declare the ACC and the Big 12 are way further away from the SEC and Big 10 and will likely never win a national championship in this new format? Now, Lucas, what are we big believers in? We're big believers in answering one question at a time. So let me answer because you asked two of them. The first one is obvious. Yes, there's a big gap between the SEC and the Big 10, whatever order you want to put them in, and the ACC and the Big 12. Yes. But the second part was, are we ready to admit they'll never win a national championship in the new format? Of course not. I'll tell you why. Because conferences don't win championships. Teams do. Like the ACC being way further away from the SEC. Well, that makes sense if you're asking me if Georgia is closer than Boston College, but let me counter that with a question for you. Do you think that Clemson's closer to winning a title or Kentucky? One's in the SEC, one's in the ACC. Now, I will tell you this. It takes a legit power team. So there aren't many in the ACC. There may not be a single one in the Big 12, but you got to remember, okay, as much as I'm going to make this argument, I'm going to also say something for the other side. You got to remember, this is not the 14 playoff era anymore. So there's a huge difference in being a playoff contender versus being a national championship contender. Used to be that if you were a playoff contender, you were one of only four. And if you make it that far, you are a national title contender, or at least you're going to be thought of as one. Now that's not true. I mean, SMU was a playoff contender this past year. They were not remotely in national championship consideration. So I don't care that ACC teams are going to make it in every year, or Big 12 teams are going to make it in every year. That's default. It's impossible for them not to. We're asking, can they win a national championship? Until further notice, there are 3 programs that I think are capable of winning championships, Big 12, ACC combined. And all of them are in the ACC. I'd say Clemson fits that description. I'd say Miami fits that description. And believe it or not, I'd say Florida State at their best fits that description. It's a shocking headline considering the garbage pile that team was this past year. But Florida State at its best has the recruiting profile of a program that can win a national championship. They're a long way away right now. But even being a long way away, like it's feasible. I can envision that. All due respect, I can't envision Pitt winning a national championship. So Miami, as far away as you think they may be right now, they have the talent profile, they have the recruiting profile. Clemson does, although I have concern about Clemson's recruiting profile. What are they right now? They're 27th? That's not going to change very much, by the way. They're about to finish outside the top 20 in recruiting. Right now, they are sandwiched between Mississippi State and Maryland. That is not a good enough recruiting job over there. No, there's no excuse for that. Clemson ought to be acquiring talent at a better clip than that. But in the grand scheme of things, I know Clemson to be a program that knows how to evaluate and recruit. They are sampling the portal, as it were, lately. Think he's made some good hires. Think Dabo's made some good hires over there. So those are the kind of teams that can, theoretically, win a national championship. Long shots, but not impossible. I think the path is nearly impossible for anyone in the Big 12. I would not focus on the national championship as the barrier for standard in the Big 12. No Big 12 teams winning a national championship. The best case is you're making it in and you've got to win 3 more games. More realistically, you're making it in, you got to win 4 more games. Like Arizona State was a great story this past year. And they took Texas to overtime. Dude, they were still going to have to win 2 more games. And that's a great story. That's like a high performer for Big 12 standards. No teams, no programs in the Big 12 are perennial top 20 recruiters right now. Like you would have to have a really good spike. Probably would need to be Deion doing it in a unique way at Colorado. What Kenny Dillingham's doing at Arizona State's great, but you'd have to stack years upon years like that. TCU is sneakily positioned to where they're in a good position to do that. Well, let's see what Scott Frost does at UCF. I think their NIL has a ways to go. The path would probably be impossible. But no, I'm not going to say blanketly no ACC nor Big 12 teams will ever win a national title under this format. I'll just say it's going to be really difficult for them to win a national title under this format.